Sorry for delay. Sorry. How many sessions on descriptive writing has been conducted till the now? Officially, it will be the first session. So teachers in the holistic take it as a descriptive session only, but I guess today is the first one. Okay, thanks. You have been participating in descriptive lately. Not really right now. Going through the concept. रुद्राज भाई आप लोग सब कुछ कट ऑफ बढ़ाओगे क्या? Okay. Okay, good evening everyone. Deepti, Vidushi, Vishwas, Rashali, Vedamutra, Bhavna, Vedamrita. I'm always confused in that. So, good evening everyone. So, with small delay, let's start today's session, and that is for descriptive answer writing. Right. I always, since the very first time, I always maintain this thing to you. Answer writing always have two parts. One is the knowledge, other is presentation. Right. One is what? Knowledge. And other is presentation. Right. So generally when you are writing an answer, lot of we are here, V for vendetta. Mohit, I'm sorry. I mean, maybe I was busy at that time. I was not able to see your message. Just do this message tomorrow morning. I will discuss with you whatever is your issue. I will discuss with you. Uh, Not today. Tomorrow. Tomorrow, have a just drop a WhatsApp. Sorry, this Telegram message somewhere around 8 to 9. In between 8 to 9, drop a message. I will call you back and discuss with you whatever is your issue. So what I was saying that, so now for all of you, means those who are in the chat session, stop going for this any other thing. If you have any doubt or question, then type here. Otherwise, please restrain yourself and focus on the lecture only rather than typing the messages. Okay. So answer writing, two parts, knowledge and presentation. Generally, when you are writing for your board exams, right, or university exams, then knowledge and presentation maybe is going to be 50-50, right? And even sometimes with the good handwriting, right, proper diagrammatic presentation, even the content is low and low quality content, but the presentation is nice, maybe you are going to get an upper edge when you are writing answer at 12th class or in the graduation, right? So presentation works better manner there. But when you are writing an answer in the competitive exam like RBI or UPSC exam, this part play the most significant role, right? Most significant role, the knowledge part, right? And then it's come to what? Presentation part. So this is why I told you in the beginning ki first let me complete or almost complete the knowledge part of your syllabus, then I will go for presentation part. Even I was not able to complete, but some students are strongly recommending ki sir please start this session, then later on we will cover whatever the small areas are left in the syllabus. We will do it later, but please start this one. And that's why we have started this session from today onwards. So how you can improve the presentation part? Fine. So I will discuss the questions. Though I took one more session in the past where I have explained ki how the presentation should be given, right? But the momentum was not able to achieve by us. So again, I will let you know ki how the presentation should be there, but this time there will be no separate session on the presentation. We will go according to the questions, right? We will take the question, and in the question I'll let you know ki how to present it question by question. Fine. So in this way we are going for it. So for that, we have last year's question paper. Last year's question paper. These are some questions they have asked in the last year, 10 marker and 15 marker. So we are going to discuss questions today, and in while discussing, I will let you know how to answer in general and how to answer in particular question. First, in general, how to answer, then at particular, how to answer that question. Okay. So the first question they have asked, okay, first start with what? First start with the 10 marker, then we'll come to the 15 marker questions. So the 10 marker question, the first question, Asta, I will take it. No need to worry, I will take this issue. Now focus on the question. The first question is, what are three measures related to disinvestment? What are the three measures related to disinvestment of strategic sector and non-strategic sector in budget 2021-22? Right? So first of all, this question is of last year's budget. Fine. So maybe the content of the question is irrelevant today. But what we understood after reading this question, we understood RBI, while setting the descriptive paper, they have an eye on budget announcements, right? Whatever announced in the budget, they have an eye and they can frame question from there. So budget announcement, the facts part, the figures part, facts and figures part, and any policy decision part. So generally, if you will see the budget document, so budget documents have one what? Facts and data. Facts and data part, and other part is what? Other part is policy announcements, right? Policy announcements. Fine. So from facts and data, maybe question is like to be what? Objective type, where the policy announcement, it is going to have a question based on descriptive type. Fine. So they asked this question from last year's budget announcement, and they took the issue of what? Strategic and non-strategic disinvestment, non-strategic sector and non-strategic sector in the Union Budget 2022. Fine. And they are asking this discussion, they are asking to discuss. They are asking to what? Discuss. Right? They are asking to discuss rationale and impact. What do you mean by rationale? Means what is the reason? What is the reason why government has went for the disinvestment in two categories, strategic disinvestment and non-strategic disinvestment? What are the reason why it is being classified? And then what is the impact? Fine. So question is of 10 marks, right? So when the question is of 10 marks, or if you'll compare 10 marks question and 15 marks question, right? So 15 marks question means what? You have more freedom to write. Whereas in 10 marks question, you have to limit yourself, otherwise you are not able to complete your paper, right? So your answer must be composed. Your answer must be composed. And at this level, when you are doing the practice for the descriptive, what you have to do, I told this thing earlier, the first step we have to follow is read the question carefully and identify or highlight the key points of the question, right? So I already did this thing. Read the question. You can read the question at least 2 to 3 times. Fine. Whenever you will see the question, you have to read the question at least 2 to 3 times. So when you will read the question at least 2 to 3 times, then you are able to find out the key words of your question paper or your question, right? So here the keyword is what? Strategic sector and non-strategic sector in union budget, right? Strategic sector and non-strategic sector regarding disinvestment. So the question is on disinvestment related announcement in the budget. Fine. So after reading the question, what we found it here, the question is on a discussion on what? Strategic and non-strategic sector, and we have to provide what are the reasons and what are the impact, right? So after reading the question is on what? Disinvestment type, strategic and non-strategic, and we have to provide reason. We have to provide reason and impact, right? This is what we have to do with this question. Now, how we are going to write answer on this question, right? How we are going to write answer? Any answer is having three parts. One is what? Intro, then body, then conclusion. So these are the three part. Fine. Suppose that just suppose that word limit is 300 words. Just take an extended example. If word limit is 300 word, so your introduction must be around 300. So 50% weightage. The 50% weightage, or you can say 45 to 50% weightage of the word limit is going to where? Body of answer, right? Body of answer. Then remaining what? Remaining 25 to 30%. Remaining 20 to 25% you can put in the what? Intro part. Then 25 to 30% you can go where? In the conclusion part, right? So in this way you have to distribute your answer. Intro part is going to have 20, 25 to 30% maximum. It should not be like that you have written all these things in the intro part. Fine. Introduction must going to be have maximum 20 to 30%, but what we generally consider 20% is an optimum, right? If you have given 20% here in the introduction, you have given 20% of your total word limit weightage to introduction, then around 50% you have to put it here and 30% you have to put it here. So this is the way how to distribute your word limit while writing an answer. Initially, maybe you are not able to perfectly execute. Initially, you are not able to perfectly execute. Right. So no need to worry. Just have this idea in the mind that I have to distribute my answer in such a manner. So this is the way how to distribute your answer. Fine. If it is a long answer or if it is an essay, right? So in that case, the distribution is almost going to be remain same. There is no big changes in the distribution of various area. Intro can go for 15 to 20%, right? In essay, if you're writing an essay, introduction may be around 15 to 20%. You have to increase that 5% from here to conclusion part, right? So in that way, some 55 to 10% here and there can be done. But in general, this is the best way to distribute for your answer, right? I'm not talking about the UPSC exam. I'm talking about your grade B exam, right? In the UPSC exam, those who are also maybe some of the students who are here, they may be preparing for the UPSC exam also. If you are preparing for the UPSC exam and here there is a question which is having what? 10 marker question. So in the 10 marker question, the intro part is just going to be what? Just going to be have only 5 to 10%. 5 to 10%, then somewhere around 70 to 80% the body part, and then 20 to 30 part in the conclusion. So this is the way how to distribute your answer when you are writing for the UPSC. But again, if the question is 15 mark or it is a 20 mark, you have to increase the weightage from here and redistribute like in this manner. For 15 marker and the 20 marker, writing for optional or general studies, you can do in that way. But for here, for your grade B exam, I will always recommend you can go in this manner, right? That means in the intro, you have to write few things. Whereas in the UPSC, just give the intro and write answers in the bullet points when you are writing answer for general studies. That's why here the weightage is 70 to 80%. So comparatively, I am giving you the idea with respect to other exams also. So now come back to our main focus, that is your exam, right? The RBI Grade B exam. So we have seen the question. What was the question? Question was, what are 3 measures related to disinvestment of strategic and non-strategic sector in the budget 2021-22 discuss, right? Rationale and impact. Fine. So this is the question. So this is the question which we have to discuss. And when we are going to write an intro, still I have not started writing. I'm just telling you the steps which you have to take or you have to keep in your mind before writing an answer, right? So we have this thing in our mind, we have to distribute our answer in this manner, right? We have to distribute our answer in this manner. This is the idea which we have in our mind. Now we have the question in our mind that is related to strategic and non-strategic disinvestment, and whatever government has announced in budget, we have to discuss on it. So in intro, what we have to write, we have to first briefly we have to tell about what is strategic and non-strategic disinvestment. In the introduction, we have to briefly tell or write what is strategic and what is non-strategic disinvestment, right? First, write this thing. Then, when you are going to write this thing and it's a 10 marker, almost you are going to fill 2 to 3 lines, right? Then after mentioning strategic and non-strategic disinvestment, then you have to mention in this year's budget, government has taken certain initiative for the purpose of strategic and non-strategic disinvestments, right? So you have briefed about strategic and non-strategic disinvestments. Then in the body, you have to write what? You have to write what initiatives taken by government in this year's budget. You have to write it here, right? And because question have asked 2 things. What is the rationale and impact, right? So this rationale and impact should not be in the body. This rationale and impact should not be in the body, but rationale and impact should be in what? Conclusion. So you have mentioned that these are the announcement made by the government because question is asking for a discussion, right? So you have discussed what government has announced in this budget. Then in the concluding part, you have to write that generally government is an organization, not a company, right? Government is an organization, not a company. That's why government must focus on the welfare rather than involving himself in the production activity, rather involving herself in a production activity. So by following this philosophy, Indian state means government of India, has started the process of disinvestment since 1996. Over the year, disinvestment process gathering momentum, and gradually, but with the determination, government is going for disinvestments, right? So this is the rationale, right? Government is an organization, but not for what? Production activity. You are an organization basically focused on what? Welfare rather than production. So this is the rationale, right? This is the rationale why you are doing the disinvestment. Now what will be the impact, right? So this is the rationale. While writing, now you are going to end your answer. At the end of your answer, you have to mention, while government is going to do these disinvestments, government want to make economy more freely competitive in the nature, because generally government companies have a certain edge over the private companies because they always have a backing of the government. So that is why sometimes the private sector or even the government companies, because they have inherent backing of the government, sometimes the optimum performance is not being given by the either government company or a private company. When the competition is going to be fair among all of them, then the best quality product with optimum capability execution will be there, and economy will grow with higher pace. So this is the reason why government want to go ahead for the disinvestments, whether it is a strategic sector or it is a non-strategic sector. So in this way, you have to conclude your answer. Fine. So this is the way how to write this answer. Clear? This answer is clear. How to structure your answer. So this is step. What is step? The step of what? The step of number one. Reading the question. Right? Reading the question. Highlight the key points of the question. Then how you are going to write an answer means a redistribution of the content, where it is going to be mentioned in the intro, what we are going to mention in the body, what we are going to mention in the conclusion. We have to figure it out, then we have to start right. So sometimes students say that, sir, this process what you are telling, reading the question, then breaking the part and doing all these things, it will take time. I do agree, it will take time. But when we do the practice over the time, right? For example, if I'll ask you to write a table of 23, maybe you are going to take time, 1 minute or maybe 2 minutes. But if you are going to do the practice on daily basis, maybe in next 5 to 6 days, you need only 15 to maximum 15 to 18 seconds to write the entire table of 23. Right. Same thing, table of 279. So if I'll ask you to write the table of 279, it's going to be very challenging for you. But again, if you are going to do the practice for next 10 to 15 days, it is going to be very less time you are going to take to write the entire table of even 279. So the practice is more important here in the descriptive part, right? So what I told you in the beginning, knowledge and presentation. Regarding knowledge, most of the things I already explained in the live classes, right? So in the live classes, I already explained most of the things. If you are not able to reconnect, go to your material part, which is available in the course, read those, try to connect with the live lecture. Lectures are already available there. You can watch that part of lecture, right? And just do the short revision. After doing that short revision, then you can see the questions which are being asked in the previous years. See the question, read the question, break the question, distribute the part of answer, what I'm going to write in intro, what I'm going to write in body, what I'm going to write in conclusion. Then start writing and finish your answer. Right. And initially what is going to happen, maybe you are not able to perform. and you are going to perform miserably, and you will think that ki, nahi yaar, I'm not able to write, so first I will complete each and everything. You will try to run away. You will try to run away. Until then you are going to running away from it. You are not able to perfect it. The key to perfectly or write a good answer is to practice, practice, and practice. Right. So by the doing the practice, automatically your answer writing is going to be refined, because when you will write and you are going to read your answer on your own, then you himself going to find out your mistakes, and you have to eliminate those mistakes next time. Or if I'm committing a mistake while writing something, right, by conscious mind or subconscious mind, that is going to be remain in my mind. So whenever I'll write this thing, next time I am able to recall ki last time I did this mistake. So consciously or unconsciously you will try to avoid committing that mistake. So this is the way how every time your answer writing is going to be refined, 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 and refined. So even many times there is no need to go for evaluation. Means no need to show your answer ki why, whether my answer is good or bad or average or what. You can self-assess. You can self-assess, and after doing those self-assessments, later on you can show your answer to someone. It is not required ki initially you wrote answer and immediately you want to show the answer to get the feedbacks. Right. The first stage of the getting feedbacks is you himself. Right. Then read it. Write and read it. You are automatically going to know what mistakes you have committed, and you can work on it. Once you will work on those mistakes, then you feel that ki now I am little bit good in the answer writing. At that stage you can show your answers to others, right? So this is the way how we have to deal the answers. Okay, now if you have any question, please ask me. Rationale एक बार please. See, disinvestment means what? Disinvestment is a process through which government sell its capital assets. Disinvestment is a process through which government sell its capital assets, and those capital assets are basically in the form of company owned by government of India, right? Company owned by government of India. So when government starts selling their assets, capital assets, which are in the form of company or organization, government starts selling it, we will call it as a disinvestment. Now the question is, what is the rationale to go and sell those assets, right? Over the years we have seen that century after century the nature of economy changed, right? And especially the large change came after the rise of industrial revolution. With the rise of industrial revolution, two philosophies came into the existence. One is a capitalist philosophy, one is a socialist communist philosophy. In the basic way, capitalist philosophy means what? Government is an organization, and government have to limit herself in that domain only, and government have to make a good environment for fair competition and focus on welfare through what tax you are going to receive, focus on country's defense, and make a good environment for people living. So this is the philosophy of capitalism, right? Whereas what is the philosophy of socialism and communism is that once you will allow the private person to own capital sources, that private person is going to control those source of production, and he is going to exploit others. In order for maximum exploitation, he is going to take government also under his influence, so that government can make policies according to his profit orientation, right? And maximum exploitation, right? So it's better, what? It's better you should remove all private property, means there should be no individual ownership of the means of production. Only government is going to own all means of production, and government cannot work for the profit but for the welfare. So the welfare will be happen for everyone rather than for single individual. So this is the two philosophy, and they have a contradiction with each other. By 1950s, that was a height when capitalism and socialism was fighting with each other. But over the time, it is time tested and proven that capitalism is a better philosophy in comparison to socialism and communism when we talk in very practical terms. Wherever the communism or socialism established, the dictatorship was established, and those dictators who were there remain in the power, and they have started exploiting the common people. Whereas capitalism was based on democracy, people have a voice, so they can remove the governments. So over the years, over the time, the philosophy of capitalism overpowered and proven herself as a better philosophy over the socialism communism. Right? So when India got the freedom, India opted both for political domain, we opted the democratic model, and we opted the socialist model of economic development. However, in 1992, we was forced to change our model from socialist model to capitalist model. So once you have opted the capitalist model, that means Indian government is also have to follow the same thing to make environment more competitive, right? That means government should not own companies, because if government is owning the company, government is the owner of a company, and at the same time government is going for what, for their competition. Means in the cricket, you are a captain of a team, at the same time you are an umpire also, right? So maybe two reviews are available, but after two reviews, what, you can do whatever you want. So such kind of the situation is not good for what, proper economic development of your country. So this is why government should remain focused only in the welfare domain and not on production domain. So this is the rationale for the disinvestment. Sell all those assets which is related to the production activity, so that production activity in the private domain, but at the same time you should make such a policies so that these private people who are involved in the production activity, they cannot exploit the working class. How you can make good labor laws which is always giving a good support to working people, right? Pension policies, social welfare policies. So government have to make those policies stronger so that the common people who are working in the private firms, they cannot be exploited by those private firms, right? So this is where government have to work rather than trying to do the production on its own. So this is the rationale for going for what, disinvestments, right? Vedamrita, sir, can we write body in the bullet points? Yes, of course. Of course. In fact, it is strongly recommended. It is strongly recommended to all of you. The body part must be written in the bullet points. So answer should be like this. Your answer copy should be like this. This is the intro part in the paragraph, right? So intro, generally it is good if it is in the single paragraph. But if requirement is there, you can write into two small paragraphs also. For example, this is one format where the introduction is in one paragraph, or you can go for your answer in this way, where initially three lines, right? Three lines are there. Then the three and a half line, then you have written two lines by changing the paragraph. So this is showing your what? This is showing intro part, right? Then the body of the answer must be in the bullet points. I use the word must, but if you are facing difficulty, to write in the bullet points. And when you will face the difficulty, see why I am strongly recommending you should write your answer in the bullets, right? Not Royal Enfield bullet, just bullet, right? Why in the bullet points? Because generally, what as an exam means evaluator, if I am going to evaluate your copy, I'll see you have written your answer in bullets, right? So why generally students prefer to write in the bullets? Because you have more information, but if you are going to write those information in the paragraph, it will take more time to express your viewpoint in the proper manner. But in the bullet points, you can write a line, and then in that line you can highlight particular word, right? You can highlight particular word. So in this way, you can specifically highlight whatever the good things you know. So you have mentioned your answer in bullets, and you have highlighted or you have bold, make the bold that particular point. But when you are going trying to write these highlights in the paragraph, it will take a lot of words to express and a lot of time also to write, right? So this is why the bullet writing is going to allow you to write more content in a short span of time and in the very specifically highlighted manner, right? So this we know. If I'm going to check your copy and you have written your answers in the bullet, so for me it is going to be a little bit easier to find out do you know the quality content or not, because it is clearly highlighted in the points. So that's why we recommend you should write in the bullet. But the negative part is what? If you have started writing in the bullet, that means whatever the content you have, that is going to be precisely visible. So if you know little content, you do not know too much about that answer, then you can avoid writing in the bullets. But if you are well aware of the question which is being asked, you have the proper data and information and knowledge about that question, then you must write your answer in bullet points. Fine. But this part, that is what? Conclusion. So conclusion is never going to be written in the bullet points, right? Conclusion is like that कि you have to suggest, you have to provide what should be done, right? So what should be done must be written in more philosophical way. Philosophical way means what? It should be written like a suggestion, right? So when you are bulleting it something, it is more like you are pushing it, right? You are pushing it. When you are writing in the bullets, it depicts you are pushing something. You are very determined about something. But generally, when we suggest, right? So maybe they are very good suggestions, but we cannot be what? We cannot be like forcible. So when you write in the bullets, it seems like you are forcing your viewpoint, you are forcing your opinion, right? And opinions, suggestions should not be such a way of presentation, right? The presentation of suggestions or concluding remarks, that should not be like pushing, right? Humbly requesting, right? So that's why I want to say this. So in this way, you have to always write the conclusion part in what? In the paragraph, rather than what? Rather than writing in the bullet. Okay. Sir, please discuss one FM question. See, I will go in the structured manner. Today, I am going to discuss this question paper, right? Then, for tomorrow's session, I'll let you know by today morning, tomorrow morning, I will let you know ki how I am going to discuss. Most probably, I will take question year wise, right? I will take question year wise in what year, what questions they have asked, and I will discuss one by one. Fine. Because if I want to go by topic, it will take a lot of time to extract the questions and put it at one place, right? It is a very time consuming process, and I honestly tell you, I do not have this time. If you can do it on my behalf, I will be highly grateful to you. सर अपकमिंग डेज में डिस्क्रिप्टिव क्लास कैसे चलेगा? यू कवर ओके सर. शुड वी फोकस ऑन द वर्ड्स और मैटर? See, if the matter is good, whatever the matter you are going to write, and word limit is just going to exceed by 10 to 15% or even 20%, or it is below the limit, right? So suppose that word limit is 300 words and you have written somewhere around 280 words, fine, or you have written 330 words, right? So it's always fine. That is not a big deal. If your content is good, then they are not even sometimes word limit is what, 300 and you went to 350 or 340, 350. So once he is going to mind ki arey you have written too much, but if the content is good, he cannot deduct your marks, right? He is going to deduct your marks even you are well in the 300 word limit, but content is not good, then definitely he is going to deduct your marks, and he is going to punish you if you have not written a quality content and you took too much word. Then you are going to be punished, properly punished, right? If you do not have a quality content and you have winded up your answer around 250 to 280 words, right? Maybe he have some sympathy and he is not going to deduct too much marks. His sympathy means it's not like that he have a sympathy that means he's going to give you the marks. He or she maybe have a sympathy, that's why they are not going to deduct too much marks. But in this case, you do not have a quality content and you just writing a story, then you will be properly punished. मनीष सर आज बीओपी के 4 वीडियोस कंप्लीट किए, मजा आ गया, आज समझ में आया ये चैप्टर. ओके, थैंक यू. ब्रिलियंट माइंड्स. सर लिखना क्या है? लिखना क्या है? अरे पहले ये तो समझ लो लिखना कैसे है, राइट? लिखना क्या है वो तो आ ही जाएगा, पहले समझ तो लो लिखना क्या है. Right now I'm telling you how to write, then you are asking me what to write. When I am going to explain what to write, then you are going to ask me how to write. So step by step, have a patience. Do we have to write labeled? It's up to you. The interface will be same as the other exam conducted by IBPS TCS. So bullet will not be possible. At least we can use the number for each points. But you know, sometimes after writing then deleting the whole format disrupted like the letter writing, it's frustrating. Acha ji. Sir, in the exam, can we highlight or bold the main points? Option are active or not in the exam on the PC. I will check it. I'll let you know. Sir, interface in the online exams not supportive. All the content is not visible at a time. So paragraph format saves time. Would bullet point format fetch more marks? Yes, bullet point format always fetch more marks. The main content you must have to write in the bullet points. If it is not supportive properly, then you can skip that thing. But it is not visible each and everything. This is why you have to do the practice. If you are writing something, you have to keep that thing in your mind. So that's why I'm requesting you should go for more practice. Sir, for descriptive total 2000 words to write in 90 minutes. It is going to be a bit difficult to attempt. Yes, obviously it is going to be a bit difficult to attempt. That's why That's why I told you, as much as practice you are going to do of writing, you are able to attempt as many as questions is it possible. Right. Yes, obviously it's difficult to 90 minutes and 2000 words. And it is not just a typing kind of the thing. You have to see and type it. It's like what? You have to process and then you have to write. Fine. So yes, it's difficult. I completely agree with you. But I think if you are going to do more practice, then you are able to solve this issue. Prahlad and all of you, I tell you one thing. Where I take the classes of civil services in the institute, whenever the test is of my subject, economics test. For example, on this Sunday, I'm going to conduct one test. And this is the first time that batch in which I'm taking class right now, in that batch, I'm going to conduct test first time. And I know there is going to be what? Lot of problem for those students. You know what I'm going to do there? In that classroom, I'm going to switch off all the ACs. I'm not going to allow to run the AC. I will be there. Whenever I have to conduct the test, I have a privilege. I can just send a test paper, that is 100 questions of economics question paper. I can send a test paper and management will distribute that question paper in the class and they will conduct it. But I'm not going to conduct the test paper there in such a manner. Class time, test timing is 2 to 4 on Sunday, coming Sunday. Class test timing is 2 to 4. So I will be there by 1:30 and I will make sure that I am going to distribute the OMR sheet and the question paper to each and every student in the class when they will enter. At 2 o'clock, I will be there on the podium and I'll ask you to write. And then I'm going to check each and everyone's OMR sheet. You have mentioned your name, the studio roll number, you have mentioned it or not. I will check it properly and the ACs are going to be off. The fan will be there. You have to write your test under the fan only, because in the UPSC exam, nobody is going to provide AC in your classroom. So you must have to customize yourself as per the environment provided by your exam conducting agency. And for that 2 hour, I will also there. I will be also there and I will ask the peon to be there so that if any student need water, we will provide. So I'll do that thing in that way. So this is what I'm also going to suggest. If you know the interface, how they are conducting, or you can get some save from other students, create that environment and practice only in that environment. No need to create a what comfortable environment for you. What environment they are going to provide, you have to practice even worse environment than they are going to provide. Only then you are going to perform better in that environment. Okay. सर आरबीआई डिस्क्रिप्टिव टफ एज कंपेयर टू यूपीएससी रीजन टाइप करने में हैबिचुअल नहीं होते. इनिशियली कंप्यूटर चेक करता है, कुछ लोग ग्रामर जाने फोकस होता है rather than content. Even word limit is 2000 for 4 questions. It cannot be achieved easily. See, problem will be there. But if you want to get selected, you have to do the practice. You have to do the practice. If you are a focus for RBI Grade B exam, you have to do the practice in the keyboard, right? You have to do the practice in the keyboard rather than doing the practice like UPSC exam. So there is no alternative or there is no shortcut solution for it. You have to go for it. आपको करना ही पड़ेगा. You have to do the practice on the keyboard in order to increase your speed. There is no alternative for it. There is no alternative for it. Okay. Or there is no even shortcut for it. If you think I have any magic trick so that even while writing on the keyboard, there will be magic trick, or even if somebody is portraying I have a magic trick for that, there is no magic trick. The only thing is the hard work. You have to do the hard work. Okay. सर उनके जैसा पुराना कीबोर्ड नहीं मिलता है मार्केट में जिसमें 2 बार प्रेस करना पड़े बटन को। तो आप एक काम करो, आप अपने ही कीबोर्ड को जोर जोर से प्रेस करना सीख की आदत डालो, ताकि उनके वाले कीबोर्ड में भी आपको एक बार ही जोर से प्रेस करना पड़े। ज्यादा ज्यादा क्या होगा, एक कीबोर्ड ही खराब होगा ना, दूसरा ले लेना। ठीक है, 600 to 800 रुपीज का दूसरा कीबोर्ड आएगा। आरबीआई की प्रिपरेशन के लिए 600 to 800 रुपीज का एक कीबोर्ड ही सही। इससे ज्यादा तो वैलेंटाइन डे पे ही खर्च कर देते होगे, है ना। तो ये तो लाइफ टाइम वैलेंटाइन है आरबीआई ग्रेड बी, तो इतना तो कर ही सकते हैं। हाउ डू यू नो दैट ऋतुराज? प्लीज टेल मी, प्लीज टेल मी हाउ डू यू नो दैट कि ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ grammar he got the huge marks? How you are very sure that? I didn't get this point. Have RBI sent his copy to you? How you know this thing ki on the basis of grammar he got the marks? How you are so sure? See, on the basis of grammar, they are not going to give the marks. That is false perception, either created by him or you have misinterpreted his ability. Right? You have misinterpreted his ability. He or she, whosoever is there, they have the ability. Either you misinterpreted his or her ability, or he or she has given a false perception of his or her ability to you. Right? It's not just a grammar on which you can get a very good marks in the ASI paper. सर ये क्वेश्चन का आंसर कहाँ सबमिट करना है? ऋतुराज, ही इज सेइंग कि कुछ नहीं पढ़ा था. मे बी ही इज रॉन्ग. No, see, I'll tell you. When you are going to ask, right? Suppose that you are going to ask me, कि sir, how you have such kind of the knowledge? And I said, no, I don't do anything. I just sleep entire day. At 8:30, I woke up in the evening and I do the brush, and then I'll do this and I'll sit in front of system and I'll start teaching. Right? Then maybe you are not going to believe in the first instance, but if you are going to believe, then you are going to be mesmerized. Wow, what kind of the supernatural ability he have. Without any reading, he is what? He is so good. He is so good in his knowledge. So your perception about me as a person is going to what? A superman kind of the thing. So when people will say that, those people who got a good marks and he said that, अरे मैंने तो कुछ नहीं पढ़ा था. Actually, they want you should praise them as a superhuman. राइट. सो इफ दे आर टेलिंग यू ना कि अरे नहीं मैं तो कुछ नहीं पढ़ा था, मैं तो आधे घंटे पढ़ता हूँ, मैं तो 1 घंटे पढ़ता हूँ, उससे भी मेरे इतने मार्क्स आ गए, तो एक्चुअली ही इज ट्राइंग टू पोर्ट्रे यू कि तुम गधे हो, तुम 7-8 घंटे पढ़ते हो तो भी तुम्हारा नहीं हुआ, और मैं देखो आधे घंटे पढ़ लिया तो भी मेरा सिलेक्शन हो गया, तो मैं क्या हूं, मैं भगवान हूं. राइट. सो दिस इज दे वांट टू पोर्ट्रे. दैट्स व्हाई यू शुड नॉट बिलीव सच काइंड ऑफ द इडियोटिक थिंग्स. Focus on your goal, focus on your target, and what is the set norms for the exam. Follow that thing. Don't follow such kind of the morons and their thoughts. Okay? Do we need have some general introduction beforehand to write before the exam? No. You should not go for the general introduction. Your introduction must be on the question main topic. Whatever is their main theme of the answer, you have to write only on it. For example, in this question, what are the measures related to disinvestment? And in introduction, Government of India every year present the budget in the month of last working day of February, and Government of India also have presented the budget this year on 28th of February 2021. In that budget, there was a lot of announcement. Among those announcements, there was one major announcement on the strategic and this non-strategic disinvestment. इतना लंबा लाइन नहीं लिखना है, नहीं है, not required, absolutely not required. There is no need to too much what general introduction. In the budget, Government of India, in the budget 2021-22, Government of India have announced this thing related to the strategic and non-strategic disinvestments. Disinvestments are an important feature of present days, modern days government or the mixed economy government, and they do this thing for this purpose. So you have to be what? Straightforward on your point. You are not writing an essay, right? You are writing an answer. Fine. No, see, Rituraj and Vishali, everybody will happy when they are being praised. I'm also telling you very honestly, when somebody praise me, I'll feel very happy. And when somebody is going to criticize me, I feel bad. But when I feel bad, I try to work so that next time nobody can criticize me. I always believe in this. But it hurts. It hurts if somebody is going to criticize. And it always give a pleasure when somebody is going to praise my work or anyone's work. That is a common human nature. But the problem arises when you feel that you are now having an elite club or an elite organization because you are now a grade B officer, you are a NABARD group A officer, or you are officer in SEBI. You feel that I am different from them right now, right? Maybe the difference between that person and you is maybe because of 1 or 2 marks only, right? Recently, one of student and I was having a very strong belief that she is going to be in the top of the list, but unfortunately, she is not able to finally mark her name in the list, and she is in the waiting list, right? So it doesn't mean that she is not good, right? Maybe not this time, but maybe in the RBI Grade B exam, she is going to top the exam, right? So, and she already got selected in the IBPS. In NABARD, she is in the waiting list and she is preparing very hard for RBI Grade B exam, right? So she is very disappointed. Sir, I am not able to mark in the final list. I am in the waiting list. And I was also having a very strong belief that she is going to be in the top of the list, right? So it doesn't mean that she has not prepared well. Maybe sometimes because descriptive is also what? Descriptive is also a subjective thing. Maybe for the same answer, somebody is going to get better marks. How? I started evaluating the copy. First copy, worst copy. Second copy, worst copy. Third copy, again, the bad copy, right? So 3 back-to-back bad answer. Now the fourth copy, which is even better than last 3, but it is not very good, right? Suppose that the question is of 10 marks. Right? Question is of 10 marks and I got 3 back-to-back bad copies and my mood is like off. कि यार क्या लिखा है लड़कों ने, बच्चों ने क्या लिख रखा आंसर, एकदम बर्बाद, right? So this is my mood right now, mindset right now. Then the fourth copy which I have received, it is better than last 3. So for last 3 in the 10 marks for first, second and third student, I have given 2, 2.5 or 2. Now the fourth one, the copy which I am checking right now, he have mentioned few things. So now I am comparing his performance with last 3 performance. So maybe he is going to get 4.5. One scenario. In the other scenario, I've started checking the copies. The first copy, very good copy. I give 6.5. Second, again good copy. I have given again what? Something like 7. Exceptional answer. Third copy. Again good answer. I have given what? I have given 6 marks. Right. Now, if in such a scenario, if I am going to get this copy, for which I have given 4.5 marks. If in this situation I am going to get this copy in this situation, I am definitely going to give 3 or 3.5. So in this way, this thing happened. In this way, sometimes this thing happen. Maybe your answer was on an average, but you got above average marks. Your answer was good, but you got very good marks. Your answer was good, but you got average marks. So these things happen when your copy is going to be what? Mingled in the other copies. Vishal, this is the bad statement. Sir, for UPSC aspirant, it is very difficult to pre of grade B. For UPSC aspirant, if you are a true UPSC aspirant, there is nothing difficult for you. If you are a true UPSC aspirant, maybe for a time being it's difficult, but if you are going to target, nothing like difficult for you. So don't say this thing. Sir, can I crack grade B in the days remaining now, specifically phase 2 preparation? You can follow this phase 2. What I'm going to discuss for the phase 2. If you are going to follow, I think you can do it, but you have to completely devote yourself, right? Means food, nature's call, sleep, and RBI grade B. That 4 things going to be in your life for next few days. Till then, they are going to conduct the exam. If you are going to have these 4 things in your mind, definitely you are going to crack it. No issues. No, क्यों बुरा क्यों लगेगा? I have just given a moral boost to Vishal. You should not think like that. Nothing is difficult for you, right? The person who is in front of you means me. I have prepared for the UPSC with an optional subject of political science and psychology, right? And I fixed my mind for this subject, and I did good readings, making notes, preparing well, and now I'm teaching this subject with full of my intensity and knowledge. And I hope I'm not doing bad. Maybe I'm not doing very good, and I have to work more in order to improve myself. But this is what I am satisfied that I'm not doing bad, right? So at the same time, I'm highly motivated to better, and better. Right, because UPSC told me that if you will do the hard work, you can achieve anything. सर डेली लिखना शुरू करूं टॉपिक वाइज और चैप्टर वाइज? लिखना शुरू करो ऋतुराज। अभी जो मैंने क्वेश्चन डिस्कस किया था, मतलब एक आइडिया दिया था, वो लिखो आप। ये जो क्वेश्चंस अभी डिस्कस करूंगा इसी को लिखो। सो ऑल ऑफ यू, व्हाट यू कैन डू, द क्वेश्चंस व्हिच आई एम गोइंग टू डिस्कस इन द क्लास, यू कैन राइट फॉर योर प्रैक्टिस पर्पस। Sir, I have read Murnal says economy. Is it sufficient in the economy and the finance section for phase 2? For phase 2, to some extent it is good, but you must cover the entire syllabus. Okay. Chalo, now just have a proper discussion on the questions. Just let you know how to write. I have discussed the 10 marker question, how to write. Now I am properly going to take this 15 marker first question from how to write, then what to write, right? So I have explained how to write. Fine. Now I'm shifting the focus on what to write. Fine. And our first question is, how different dimension of globalization evolved since last global financial crisis in 2008. Analyze the impact, right? What is the question? How the different dimensions of globalization evolve since last global financial crisis of 2008. Analyze the impact. So question is on what? Question is on impact. Question is on impact on globalization. Question is on impact on globalization. What you have to analyze? You have to analyze what? You have to analyze impact on globalization due to financial crisis of 2008. Financial crisis of 2008. Fine. So the main theme of the answer is the impact on globalization due to financial crisis of 2008. So this is our question. We have to analyze it. Once they are going to ask the analysis, so whatever you have observed, right? Whatever you have observed. So how to write an analysis? You have observed few things, and those observation, how they are going to be very important. In that way you have to write your answer whenever the question is going to ask. Analyze. So we here, what we have to analyze, we have to analyze the impact on globalization because of financial crisis, global financial crisis of 2008. Okay. रेजर 36 सर नाबार्ड के वेटिंग लिस्ट में अटक गया, फीलिंग बैड. नो नीड टू फील बैड. No need to feel bad, right? Don't feel bad. Make your strength, right? You know that negative energy is more powerful than positive energy. Negative energy is actually more powerful than positive energy, right? So use that bad feelings or bad thoughts of your mind to what? Perform better and be in the final list. One thing. And how you can take it positively? You can take it positively. Maybe you are not in the final list, right? But you are almost there. Just a small push is required. Just a small push is required to be in the list, right? So you should not feel bad. Maybe not today, but there was one reel in the Instagram, and that is of one boxer, and he was outrightly saying that maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not after a month, but one day I will be champion, right? So you have to be a champion, my dear. You should not feel bad. You have to be the champion. You almost in the ring. Maybe you got defeated today, right? But you are able to reach in the ring. That means you are able to be in the waiting list. Maybe even this year, from the waiting list, you will be going to be NABARD officer. First thing. Second thing, if still maybe you are not able to get in the final list, right? This time because you are on the waited list, and maybe you are not able to clear that waited list. But still, RBI, the biggest one which is coming right now, in that you have to go with the 100% intensity. So whatever you are not able to achieve in the NABARD, you must have to achieve in what? RBI Grade B. So no need to feel bad. Rituraj, that means we are means We are doing the grade B means this descriptive part in the detailed manner. You can join this course which is running right now. You can join this one. We are going to take the descriptive part in the detailed manner. ये तो just first session है अभी. So that's why I am answering all of your general queries. Once it will be done today, from tomorrow onwards, I will break the question one by one. I'll explain the answer. I'm not going. I'll tell you. So whatever in general questions you have, please ask me today. I'm not going to entertain any in general question regarding descriptive. I am going to only discuss the questions. Uh, are you able to see that screen? Are you able to see the screen or just only I am visible in front of you? Okay, there is some issue and that's why screen is not visible. I am trying to rectify it, but there is some issue. That's why screen is not visible here right now. Mhm. So only I am visible here, huh? Rituraj, my dream is you will take my interview after the RBI selection. I will love to do that thing. Only I am visible and the board is not visible. Acha, just give me a second. I will talk to Screen is back again. So I hope screen is back again. Hello. Now unmute. So my question is, what do you feel this way of teaching where the screen is there? So I'm teaching on this computer screen. This is the better way, or should I go for that digital board like we have recently started with Ashokji? What is the better way? What do you think? Which is the best one? This one, or should I go for the screen? Means digital board. This one or digital board? Anyone which is comfortable for you. Okay. Board. Okay. 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 Acha, just give me a minute. I will be back. Huh? Just give me a minute. Okay. Sorry for interruption. Okay, now our question was what? Our question was how the different dimensions of globalization evolved since the last global financial crisis of 2008. Analyze the impact, right? So we have to analyze, and we have to analyze the impact on globalization due to what? Financial crisis of 2008. So since the 2008 financial crisis broke out, right? Since the 2008 financial crisis broke out, what changes we have seen in the globalization because of that crisis? So we have to mention the change we have seen from 2000. We have to write about changes in globalization due to 2008 financial crisis, right? Changes in globalization due to 2008 financial crisis. So in intro, just in one or two lines, write about what? Globalization, right? Then about financial crisis of 2008, right? And then you have to mention what? 2008 financial crisis brought lot of changes, lot of changes at global level, global level, especially in financial sector. Then some of them, some of these changes are, right? Some of these changes are. So this is all about your intro. Then in body, what changes we have seen, right? Then in conclusion, we have to start with a problem always comes with an opportunity to make our system better and correct our mistakes which was responsible for that crisis, which was responsible for that crisis, right? So this is the concluding line. Then you have to fill what we have to do. Means prevention is always better than cure, so we have to work on those preventive measures, so in order to avoid such kind of the crisis. So this is the presentation part. This is the presentation part you have to do in this question. Okay, now with this presentation part, now the content part of the presentation. You got the theme of the presentation part of this question. Have means, are you okay with that? If you have any doubt, you can ask me before proceeding with the content part. Type on keyboard. Type on keyboard. क्यों भाई? Why? Why to type on keyboard? You have to type on keyboard. So everyone is okay with that? Just give me a minute. Sorry. Ankit, do I need to speed on keyboard or should I join the typing classes? No need to typing classes. There are some software. There are some software free of cost. They are available. Typing tests like that. You just start doing some practice. Within the few days, you are able to speed it up on your own. There is no need to go for joining in the typing classes. Okay. Now, see, in this question, I told you what we have to do here. Now, the content part, we must know what is global financial crisis of 2008, right? Which is also known as subprime lending crisis, which is also known as subprime lending crisis. What is subprime lending crisis? Generally, banks do classify their customers as a prime customers and non-prime customers. Those who are frequently taking loans from the bank, like industries and others, they are taking the loans. They are generally considered as a prime customer. Whereas small loan taking means the people who are taking small loans and once in a life or something like that, and most importantly, they are not taking loans against the collateral, right? So such kind of the loans are always vulnerable, right? So the crisis in the banking sector was generated because of subprime lending, right? So subprime lenders who took the loan from the bank, they are not able to pay their loans. That's why bank failed, and especially the Lehman Brothers bank failed, and that has created a chain reaction because people get panic. People got panic, and that has created a chain reaction, and that chain reaction was basically started in US, and that led to the fall of many banks in USA, right? And Western economies, Western economies are closely interrelated with each other. They are closely interrelated to each other means US economy is closely interrelated to other economies also. Right. So they are closely interrelated to each other, especially the Western economy, in the name of what? In the name of globalization. Under the head of what? Under the head of globalization, all these economy was closely knitted. So due to fall of one main system, all other economies started falling. So it is said that the crisis of 2008 was not just a banking crisis. It was not just a banking crisis. In fact, too much globalization, too much globalization, too much interconnection was also responsible for that financial crisis, which in the very short span of time, it started in the USA and it is immediately reached to where? Western European countries and other economies which are closely connected with whom? Which are closely connected with US economy, right? Whereas countries like India, though India, who is also a close trading partner, one of the biggest trading partner of the USA, India was not so exposed. India was not so exposed, and Indian economy have not faced too much problem related to this global financial crisis, right? So financial crisis has not impacted our financial sector in India too much, but because these countries like USA and Western European economies, they are high consumption economies, right? So if you compare USA and China, right? So China may be closely heading with the size of US economy. The US economy size and the Chinese economy size. The size of Chinese economy is approaching with the size of US economy. But the contrasting difference between Chinese economy and the US economy is US economy is a very huge consumption in the US economy in comparison to the Chinese economy. right? So when the consumption is huge, that means you are taking lot of goods from outside, like other countries. Fine. So US is importing lot of goods from India, and US went to the financial crisis. So because of that financial crisis in USA, our exports, especially IT sector, which is the biggest contributor of export in India, IT sector and some mining manufacturing sector also get impacted. So the impact on India was not on the financial sector but on overall economy. Right. So if you will see the impact on what? The impact on financial sector. So in US, that financial sector led to the problem in what? Economic US and European economies. Right. Whereas in India, right? Whereas in India, what happened in India? This financial crisis of whom? This financial crisis of US and Europe, it didn't create a financial crisis in India. Means this do not create any financial crisis in India, right? What happened due to this financial crisis? These economies went down, and because these economies went down, right, that's why Indian economy also went down, right? Indian economy also went down. I hope you are getting my point. In US and Europe, what happened? Their financial system collapsed after this 2008 crisis because banks are freely doing the transfers of capital from both sides of the Atlantic, US and European countries. So banks exposure was too much from one country to another country, right? So that's why when the US banks fell down, the all European banks also faced the same heat. So their financial sector went down, and that's why their overall economy impacted. But if you will see from the context of India, the financial crisis of US and Europe didn't created any financial crisis in India, but because these are the high consuming economies and their economic growth went down, that's why Indian economic growth was also impacted. So this is what in the Indian context. So in Indian context, financial crisis of not happened in Indian economy. Overall economic growth got impacted, right? So this happened. So what are the analysis? India always have what? India always want to go for globalization, but the globalization in India is not a rapid but step by step curated steps taken by government as well as RBI. For example, RBI have very restrictive measures when it is about capital account convertibility. In the balance of chapter, I explained you how still in India capital account is restricted by the RBI. Number one. Number two, if you will compare the exposures of bank in India, right, with respect to international transactions, means doing the international business, the exposures of Indian banks and exposure of US banks. So US banks are highly exposed for all related foreign exchange business. In India, RBI has very restrictive way to allow the Indian banks to be exposed with respect to what? With respect to the foreign currency related transactions, right? So in the financial context, the impact of globalization on Indian economy was not as large as we have seen the impact of globalization in the Western countries. So that's why India was relatively not so impacted of that financial crisis. right? So this is our understanding about the financial crisis. Now what lesson we have learned? The lesson we have learned or we have to focus is what? Banks must follow certain norms in order to prevent or avoid certain kind of the crisis in the future, right? And these may be increasing the equity capital of the bank, reducing their dependency on short term loans, were steps that taken post crisis. So, post crisis, the equity capital of bank is increased and their dependency on short term loan is decreased, right? Or should I share this PDF with you? Then we can discuss, because it will take some time, means this discussion will take some another 20 to 25 minutes, right? This discussion will take another 20 to 25 minutes, and we do not have the time luxury right now. So what I'm planning is, I will share this PDF, you can read that PDF, okay, and then we will discuss tomorrow. So let me know what you want. Acha, yesterday's PDF. Okay, okay. So I'll do one thing. I'll first share the yesterday's PDF, then I'll share this one also. Right. This one also, another two, three PDF I have. I will share this one, and then we will discuss those questions from tomorrow onwards. Okay. Okay, it's fine. Okay then. So I'm winding up this session right now. What I will do, I will first find it out all the PDF. I will share with you. Then I will discuss these questions tomorrow in detail. Okay. Okay then. I'm winding this session. See you tomorrow at the same time, 8:30. We will discuss each and every question, and on the daily basis we will discuss these questions which is being asked in the previous years. First we will finish those questions, then we will come up with the model questions also. Okay. Okay then. So good night to all of you. Thank you for participation in this session. We'll start from here tomorrow.